So you've grown your team and you don't know what to do now, and you've avoided sitting down with your employees because you just don't know what to say, you don't know how to structure the meeting, and you don't feel comfortable doing it. Continue watching. I'll get you there. Hi, I'm Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting and host of the Big Stud Sales Podcast. Comment below if you have a team or if you don't. And if you're looking to grow one, I'd love to help you. So comment below, let me help you, let me answer some questions for you. Let me figure out a way to get you the answers you need to get your business to the next level. But also subscribe, make sure you don't miss the next video. We get 2 a week right now. If it keeps going well, maybe we upgrade to 3 a week. I don't know, getting crazy. But today I want to talk about one-on-one meetings. One of my last videos was really focused on team meetings and like getting involved and being consistent and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to one-on-one meetings, it's very important to have a consistent structure. So the first thing I would do is actually map it out on paper. What are you gonna talk about first? What are you gonna talk about second? What are you gonna talk about third? What are you gonna talk about fourth? And what notes and next steps are you gonna have? It's gonna be different depending on the type of employee or the type of person or the roles and responsibility that that person carries, but it's super important to do regular check-ins. I would say at a minimum, twice a year. At the beginning of the year, you should be looking at what are your goals for this year? What are you trying to accomplish? What are some skill sets you want to work on? What are some things I think you could be doing better to make more money? All of that's super important to kick off the year. You want to get a feel of where your people are, what they're feeling, and just that little bit of them knowing that you're actively engaged and investing in them will keep them around longer as opposed to looking for another opportunity where they think they can advance. There may not need to be a better position for them within your company, but you can make them better. You can give them more skills and traits and different value adds from that perspective. The second one would be, obviously, if you're gonna do 2 a year, a mid-year employee review. Every person sits down, hey, what do we want to accomplish by then? What do we want you to get better at? What do we want you to be taking control of? What did you want to get better at? All those sorts of things are great to sit down and review. I think there's 3 main categories when you're looking at the type of early, mid, quarterly reviews. It's, are you underperforming, are you performing, or are you exceeding? Some people call it developing, performing, exceeding. You can say whatever you want. So basically, like, you want people to be excelling in some, performing in others, but you really want to avoid the developing side. That's where someone's like really starting to digress. But it gives you a grading scale so that you can actually walk them through it. So it could be communication, organization, taking the extra initiative, base it around your core values. Talk about that a lot, like how good at communication are they? How good are they appreciating people's time? Whatever it is that you're trying to focus on developing within your business. But I suggest that you're doing one-to-ones specifically with key employees on a regular basis. This is where you get to know them. This is where you build rapport. Every meeting should start with, hey, how are you? What's going on? I don't care how frustrated or how upset you are or what's going on in your business. If you start every meeting with just trying to solve problems and talk about problems and berate people because they haven't lived up to the expectations, no one's ever gonna wanna come to you with things. So starting with that interpersonal skills, that empathy, and understanding that you don't know everything going on with your employees, that first question is, hey, how are you? How are things going? What's going on? What exciting happened over the last week? What's something you learned? What's something you've accomplished? What's something that you're grateful for? Like, just have an interpersonal conversation. You can better get to know your employees so that you can guide them better. Second, you want to look at the activity. Hey, we said we're going to make X amount of calls. We're going to do X amount of this. We're going to show up this amount of time. We're going to cut expenses by this, profit margins, whatever it is. How are we doing with that? Get their feedback. How are you tracking it? How are you measuring it? Look at those things. Like specifically in a pipeline review or a CRM, did they put the notes in? Is the pricing accurate? Is everybody's information in there? Just the basics. Is it actually happening? Because if you don't inspect it, you can't expect it. I've seen that before, like you can only expect what you inspect. So you gotta be looking at these things regularly. But I think it's really important to emphasize skill development. I was actually talking with my sales guy yesterday about how like we've kind of gotten away a little from the skill development because we've been working on a lot of other initiatives. And he actually asked me to come back to that because he enjoyed that so much and just making him better. He enjoyed that part of our one-on-ones. A lot of people don't like, as a leader, calling out people in what they're not great at because it sounds negative or it can be like it kind of feel like an attack, but it's your job to do that. It's your job to shine light on things that can improve and create action plans and game plans to get them better, whatever that is. That's your job. So some sort of skill development every time, whether you're looking at a system, a process, a conversation, a debrief of a project, something about, hey, what went well, what didn't go well, what would we do differently next time? That's a great line of questions you can ask somebody. Hey, let's debrief the Claudio project. Okay, what went well? Cool, what didn't go well? Cool, what would we do differently next time in your opinion? Getting their feedback from the front lines on the production side or operations side is massive in understanding how to guide your ship a little bit more effectively, how to get the mission going in the right direction, because you just don't see everything that happens. So what went well, what didn't go well, and what would you do differently next time? From a sales perspective, when you're looking through your pipeline, you're looking through all the people. It's what's happened, what's stopping them from moving forward, what are our next steps? Right, so what's happened? Oh, well, they called in, I qualified them, I went and met with them, and I sent them a proposal. What's stopping them from moving forward? Oh, I don't know. Well, what are next steps to figure that out? Some salespeople just get so busy on the next lead. Some of you guys have a ton of leads coming in. Some of you don't, but some of you do. So they're so focused on the next lead, the next client, the next opportunity, they forget to like, oh, maybe if I just followed up, or maybe if I called somebody, or maybe if I asked this question, or maybe if I could overcome the objection this way, you'd close more deals. Mining your previous proposals is some of the most fruitful activity you can do. So what has happened with whatever the lead is or the client? What's stopping them from moving forward? Because your salespeople need to know the answer to that. So if they don't, just asking them the question will train them to come prepared for that. And then what is the next step in the process? Ideally, for the production or the salesperson, that person you are trained to come prepared with the answers. Over time, if you ask them enough, they should come prepared. They're thinking about the meeting they're gonna have with you, which helps them think more proactively. You can literally change their behavior about proactively thinking about problems instead of reactively thinking about them by simply making them prepared for a one-on-one meeting with you. That hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour every week with key employees is massive in better understanding the pulse of your business, the culture of your business, the problems, the drain points, the leakiness and the finances. You can't put your head in the sand and think everything's just gonna work out because you're not looking at it. It can be scary because you're gonna uncover some stuff you're not gonna like, and that means you're gonna have to handle it. And that's not always fun, but guess what? That's your job. As the owner and leader of a business, you don't get to pick and choose what problems that you actually approach. You don't get to pick and choose what problems that you actually attack. You don't get to pick and choose what problems that are happening within your business. But if you don't, you're gonna lose it. You will no longer have the choice to decide or not decide because your business will be taken from you. Whether it's by bad employees, bad money management, bad clients, a lawsuit, mistakes, I can name 100 things. But don't fear it, don't hide from it, don't pretend that it's not there and think it's just gonna magically get better on its own. Inspect your people, not from a bad place, not from a big brother, not from a micromanagement, but on a consistent basis, hold them accountable, doing the right activities and managing the right behaviors to bring success to your business. If you have any questions on that, comment below. How do you run your sales meetings? How do you run your production meetings? How do you run your one-on-ones? Maybe you have a thing that you do that no one else does that might bring value to other people in the audience. So please engage below, comment below. I'd love to hear from you to see how you are managing your one-on-one meetings within your business. Again, I'm Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting. I'd also love for you to go check out the podcast, Big Stud Sales. We put out a lot of great content. Ryan and I, he's on the other side of the camera, I'm on this side, but on the podcast, we both mutually benefit from each other's presence sometimes. And Ryan was there. If you know what that means, you know what I'm talking about. But please subscribe to that as well. I'd love to see you over there engaging with me. Let us answer the questions you have so we can continue to bring value to you as the audience. Remember, go out, win fast, and win often.